Hello everyone and welcome back to the marvelous, the fantastic, the awe-inspiring SV Studios YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be covering how I make units behave a little more strategically so that they pose more of a challenge to the player. I'm going to be using the units from my Girl Scouts map as the example today. So I think I'll get started immediately. So essentially what scripts I'm going to be covering today is how to have units provide cover fire, advance and do different flanking maneuvers. I might do more such videos in the future if there is enough interest shown. I'm not sure how useful this kind of video is for people, but if it is useful, I will make more of these. So what we're going to start off with, I already had a unit placed down, but I'll do it again. We're going to start off with the cover fire. So essentially what you need to do first is, you need to get a unit which is a passive unit, i.e. it's not a default unit, and pose him so that he looks like he's crouching. As you can see, I have one pre-made already, so I'm going to place him behind this barrier over here, and you can see he looks very much like an actual unit. So then what we're going to do is, I have a trigger placed down here. So when the player enters this trigger, I want that unit to start firing at the player, or at least at the general direction of this player where my cursor is. So I'm going to label the script cover fire. The capitalization went all weird. This is so sad. My spelling is really bad today. Alright, so I have a script pre-made for this cover fire. So trigger enter is player if true. This is make sure it only happens one time. We start an endless loop, and then whatever happens after that will only happen if this unit over here is alive. So I'll quickly reference him over here. Cover fire, correct. So if he is alive, I want to spawn bullets every basically 4 times a second. So you can see this is a rather intimidating looking script. So this is a spawn bullet node. So for the caliber is basically what type of bullet it spawns. Since this guy has an AP5, it should be 9x19. Then this float over here is the speed at which the bullets are going. If you want to have it a bit easier to dodge, you'll have to put it at lower speeds, and if you want to have it really rapid fire, you'll have to put it at the maximum, which is 1000. I'm gonna stick with 800 for this one. And then this last one over here, the precision. This is how accurate the unit is. Now 0 is completely accurate and 1 is extremely inaccurate. So we don't want him to be firing at one spot. We want him to be firing at a general direction. So we don't want him to be too accurate, and we don't want him to be too inaccurate because he's not a sniper. So 0.22 or somewhere around that is good. And then you might be looking at these float 3 nodes, and this is a bit complicated. So this one over here is where you want this guy to be firing. If you'll give me a second. It's a bit hard to turn for me. So we want him to be firing over here. And then the second float 3 node over here will be where the bullet is coming from. So that should be, of course, around the unit over here. So let's say here. Yeah. And now I'll just show you that this script should be working fine. I have to change the setting for that. It should be red, and this unit should be blue. Wait, so we'll set it to none. Let's start again. Now if I come over here, and you can see he's firing. I'm not seeing any bullet holes, and yeah, that's a bug. So I'll have to edit the origin point of the bullets a little bit, but that's very easily fixable. All I have to do is I have to copy this, place it slightly forward, and this is just a dummy object, and then I get this. Over here, and then we can delete that object. And now I'll just quickly save this, and we can try that again. And you can see the bullet holes appearing. He's firing at us, but once I kill him, he stopped firing. So that's cover fire. He's not targeting any particular unit, he's targeting a position. So that's pretty useful if you want to have like suppressing fire and the likes. But he's pretty weak on his own, so we need to have give him some friends. So we can place down agent. Let's get a sergeant and a recruit. Uh, my game is glitching out a bit. We want one sergeant and one recruit. And what we are going to do is we're going to make use of the tags in the game. So we're going to get a tag and you can label them whatever you want. I'm going to name them response team. Response team, and give this guy the same tag. You need to make sure it's exactly the same. Just a second. Yes. So capital R response team. Now I have a script ready for that as well. So we want response team, and what we want is when the player enters this trigger, we want those two units to advance and attack the player. So I have this script over here. This first bit is essentially the same, but then get units with tag. So this will get all the units mapped with the tag response team, and then for each and set target to the player. So both of these guys, because they are the only ones who have the response team tag, they will come and start attacking the player. So I'll just quickly save and then demonstrate that. Now they should not do anything until I come over here. But see, now you can see they're advancing. Yeah, so you can see that worked out pretty well. I think I forgot to set them to guard mode, so I'll just fix that. Guard, and let's set their skill up a little bit. And we can turn this fellow around a little, and we'll move the trigger back a little because he didn't start firing soon enough. Alright, so now we'll just test that again, and you can see it's much more compelling than the regular Ancient Warfare 3 combat where they're just bunching up. It's like really weird a lot of the time. You can see he starts firing at me, and these guys, they're firing at me and they're advancing to get me. And you can see they're actually fairly challenging, and they actually managed to kill me there, but you can see they have bunched up just a little bit, but that's fine. And he's still fighting, as you can see. Alright, and now the last thing I'm going to be doing today is have a unit flank, as in he'll go around, and you can see I already have a corridor prepared for it. So essentially what will happen is, while these two are advancing and this guy's laying cover fire, this guy, he'll go through this corridor and come out behind or beside the player and basically ambush him. So for that we'll need another recruit. So if I recruit, and let's set him to guard mode before we forget. And Edward here, we can set him to idle. No, that doesn't matter. So now what we want to happen is, what I can do is I can have a script labeled flanker. Response team, and then what we can do is we can delete all of this because this is for the response team script and we want to do a flanking script. So then what we want him to do is set target position. Let me connect this up, and we want the recruit back there, so we can see this guy. We want him to set his target position, as in where he wants to go, and for that we need a float 3. Let's do it over here. Yes, float 3. And then what should happen is he should open this door over here and start attacking the player basically. Actually, what we can do is we can have a delay. So that after some time, when he's in the corridor, hopefully, he'll set his target to the player. So float, let's say 7 seconds. And then set target the same recruit, and you want him to set his target to the player who is over here. Alright, so let's just quickly see if that works or not, and then if it does, I will end the video here. And while this loads up, I'll just check that I'm actually recording, because that would be horrible if I wasn't, and I am. Alright. And you can see nothing's happening right now. Then once I get over here, and you can see he's coming through here. So you can see he flanked me over here while these two were advancing, which created a pretty chaotic scenario. And this guy's still laying cover fire, which is, of course, and he doesn't hit me that often, but if I get closer to him, he does. And then when I kill him, he stops. So yeah, that's a pretty typical example of how I might script an encounter in one of my maps. I hope this video was useful to at least some of you. This has been the SV Studios YouTube channel. I might or might not see you again. Goodbye.